I've been out in the woods all day long, so I don't expect to look immaculate. This is a freebie. This is a free one. It's generalized. It's not tied to any one topic, because politicians are a general scourge anyway. They're a general problem across the board. And I have no compunctions about saying this, because if the politicians had their way, they would chop me up and mix me into the nearest compost heap when I die. I was thinking about that. I was driving north out of Missouri, and I was thinking, what would be an appropriate burial ceremony for a politician? How would you bury a politician? Well, immediately, it occurred to me to mummify them. Like Egyptian mummies, mummify them from their heads to their knees. Follow me here. Mummify the things, bastards or bitches, from the top of their piggy heads down to their piggy knees. Wrap them tightly. Then wire their legs together and put on their feet really big Donald Duck shoes with flat soles. Before we get to that, I have a note here. The best way to destroy politicians is to destroy their voting game. Take the power and the authority away from that game by not voting. Disable their twisted political society and their politics game, upon which they are completely dependent. On the positive side, after they have tried to declare martial law and force everyone to vote, what do you do with their bodies? Cremation? That's too simple. Besides, you want lasting monuments. Lasting monuments. I say mummify them from the tops of their piggy heads down to their piggy knees. Then wire the legs together, and on each foot put a big Donald Duck shoe with flat soles. Now illuminize their piggy bodies from their knees down to the shoes, including the shoes. Just spray hot aluminum on it. Illuminize them, both sides, so that the finished product is a mummy wrapped down to its knees, and then the aluminum starts, and they are aluminized from their knees down to their shoes, including the shoes. Now engrave the identities of each politician thing on the flat soles of those shoes. Keep it simple, because they were just greedy scum. Now, after all of that is cooled and hardened, and the identities have been engraved in the soles of the shoes, bury them head down towards hell. Bury them vertically with their heads pointing down towards hell. This is very symbolic. Now people can read the identities of these swine And you have a new oddity and a new decoration for all graveyards that are unfortunately in the proximity of places where there are politicians. Well, you've solved the monument problem right there. The legs are the monuments. You don't need coffins. Dig a vertical hole and dump them in it so that their aluminized legs and shoes stick up out of the ground. So the identities on the soles of the shoes can be read. And that's all there is to it. Bury it head down towards hell. This is convenient and efficient. You can bury more politics cockroaches per square yard that way. This will occur in any graveyard and show what the piggy was immediately, and that there was a politician in the neighborhood. So, it's the kind of solution I like because it's so simple and it's very obvious. It leaves an indelible memory upon everybody of what they voted for. If you vote, you just heard how the things that you vote for should be buried. And you voted? You voted for that? Things that will end up buried with their heads towards hell and their feet sticking up out of the ground. Aluminized. Big shoes. Their identities engraved in the soles of the shoes. No coffin, they don't deserve one. Should I talk about body rot and the legs will fall over in time? Oh, by the way, there's no hell in the earth. This is symbolic. It's a symbolic burial. And a convenience. You can bury more per square yard that way. And it shows to the world just how vile, filthy, and ridiculous and repugnant, that's repugnant, politicians are. Maybe you won't want to vote. Ever think of that? Not voting short circuits and disables their politics game, whereupon they have to show their real piggy selves. Martial law, battle tanks against American houses. Then they all die. Then they all die. And they all get buried appropriately. But in the meantime, I want you to understand there's no hell in the earth. The earth is the earth, and there's no hell in the earth. It's not in this subset of dimensions.